So very early on I wanted to connect with my community leaders, and so for me they were our head boy and head girl at our local schools. So I went to Marerewa High and spoke to the head boy and head girl, Mark and Nicole, and just talked generally about their role, my role, what the needs of the school population that they represent, and how I could help. And one of the things that we discussed actually was about kids going to school and not having food. And so it became a bit of a focal point, and it's quite an interesting school because there are a lot of trade academies attached to this high school, and one of them is a catering academy. Anyway, so we got to talking, and in the end what we were able to do was to identify that there was a need in that school community. I then found a food source which indirectly came from one of our major corporates, so one of the big supermarket providers in the area, who through a food rescue program give food to the Salvation Army. The Salvation Army then gave the food to the school, and so in the end they had a soup kitchen once a week. I think youth leadership is vital. In fact, I think that we need to include young people in decision making and preparing them, really. It's another extension of a mentoring concept by giving them responsibility early and empowering them with opportunities to identify need, but then to alleviate need. I think that we have to try and create in our young people a sense of community through their action. That's how you embed it in communities. It's not a theory. Actually, community work, community wellbeing is just literal. You just have to do it. We've had marriage equality groups develop in Auckland, in Wellington and in Christchurch, which are our three major cities. But outside of that, you've just had organic development of groups that support marriage equality in Hamilton, in Dunedin, in different parts of the country, and usually run by people who are committed to human rights and equality, so not necessarily just leveraging off rainbow groups, but actually a whole lot of groups who believe in social justice. There were a whole lot of Māori groups who lobbied quite strongly early on the Māori MPs and talked a lot about discrimination against Māori and how discriminating against any group is wrong.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and I think the best example of that and the illumination of that was in South Africa, who were one of the first countries where marriage equality became law. And yeah, it's just been to encourage as many people as possible to get engaged, and I think technology's played a huge part, so Facebook, and we've got really active gay media in New Zealand. Still work to be done, but at first reading we had 80 people vote for it to go to select committee and 40 opposed. And yeah, I think the campaign's really interesting. So we don't have a paid coordinating group. There is no corporate money. It's all done because people are passionate about it, and probably it's more it couldn't be more highlighted by the number of submissions that we received through the Marriage Equality website. So there were over 10,000 submissions received through the Marriage Equality website.
And what was the submission there? What is that?
Well, a submission to a select committee. When we had our civil union debate in 2004, the House or Parliament received 6,500, approximately 6,500 submissions.
Oh, like testimony or just...
Yeah, this is people... So the bill's published and then people have an opportunity to comment on the bill. And 6,500 we received, 90% were opposed.
Wow. Only
10% were in favour. Whereas this time we had over 10,000 submissions in support through the Marriage Equality website. So yeah, I think we managed to engage with young people. I think the whole idea of people who love each other being able to commit and to create a family sort of just resonates naturally with young people. I think that communities have the power to both identify what their needs are and to meet their needs.
Mm-hmm.
What I see time and time again, either as a bureaucrat or now as a politician, is governments going and identifying communities of need and then getting all these people who live outside the community, giving them the contracts, giving them the money, and they get them to come in and try and fix these people. And it fails all the time. And I think the lesson for everybody is, it's a real fundamental principle that transformation happens from within, not without. So actually, if we really want communities to transform, they can only transform from within, not without. But what they require sometimes, though, is resources to enable them, for example, to run community events where communities can come together. But you need leadership. In any community, you need one or two, hopefully more, but one or two people who commit to organising something and then following through. And that's often the hardest part sometimes, is finding the community leaders. But they don't exist out there. They exist in the community. But you can only find them by being in and part of the community. I think that's the biggest challenge, and that's actually the biggest challenge for the delivery of services that government have, because mostly government don't think that the expertise lies in communities. They think that communities are broken and need to be fixed. For me, people being able to clearly articulate what the need is, and then once they know what the need is, it's okay, having a plan about how to address the need, and then being really clear about the skills that they have and the skills that they don't, or skills resources, and then finding a way to get what they need to alleviate the problem.
Great.
Yeah, and so that's about relationships and networks, just joining all the dots together.